Okay guys, this is the Swains County Heritage Museum and Visitor Center. Really beautiful building here. And they have a World War I statue right here with World War II. And in the World War I, you've got the names of various people. I suppose from this area here, and then World War II, names of various people. And then at the bottom you have 1 John 15:13. Greater love hath no man than that a man lay down his life for his friends. So true. You know, World War II here. And then the Korean War, the Vietnam War. That is so neat. Every place ought to have something like that in every town for their soldiers. And that looks like, well, that look like World War I. Canteen. Yeah, maybe so with that rifle. So neat. Pretty building though. Let's see what's in it. This is the visitor center. Going upstairs to the museum part. A lot of interesting information here. Rooted in the Smoky. And got a little pan there, a strainer, sifter in the middle there. It's got a round crank on it. The baby shoes. A cabbage shredder. Never seen a cabbage shredder. It must be this wooden piece right here. And I've seen these before. They're kind of like that sifter, I think. That light coming through there is going to darken this, but. Here's a 1940s barber chair. Imagine if that could talk. 1940s. Nicely made. I don't make stuff like that anymore. And double edge razors. We call them DE razors. And actually I shave a lot of times with these DE razors. You can get them, they make new ones, but you can get them from the 50s and 60s and maybe 70s, and they're a lot cheaper. And straight razors, I shave with straight razors a lot too, and this is certainly a technique for straight razors. Your shaving mud, which is pretty out of date for most people today, but you need that lather. When you use straight razors or the DE razors, you can get by with some other stuff, but I think it works best. And an old-fashioned electric razor. And that's a beautiful 1900s kerosene lantern there. That's really pretty. Beautiful reservoir on it. Well, imagine these old phones here, the 1920s and so forth. We've come a long way in the world of phones to our cell phones today, smartphones. Wow. Can you imagine? You know, they say there's nothing new under the sun, which is so true. Even in the 1900s and so forth, they had these spit jars here, spittoon, and we have chewing tobacco. Today, people use so much of it. Back in the old days, they used snuff. I don't know if you've ever tried snuff, but some of it's really good. I tried it a couple of times. I saw a bunch of the old people using it, and these are the canned snuff comes in. And you can still buy it today. But it had kind of a sweet taste to it. And this chewing tobacco stuff people have today is horrible. Prince Albert in a can, real popular. Various types of snuff cans and names. And Tampa Nugget Sublime cigar. That was really popular. I don't know about the one in the back here, little cigars. I didn't know about those. But these cigars here in the yellow box, Tampa Nuggets, were really popular back in the 50s and 60s and 70s, I think. Oh, but this was days of snuff. There's a chewing tobacco right there in the middle. And right here, it's like a log house, actually. Girls tell me they got a log cabin in here, and nobody believes her. But this was a primitive lifestyle. You got the good book here, the Bible. Every home seemed to have that for the most part. That was your only entertainment. No cell phones, no radio, no television. Reading the Bible was it. And you got your kerosene lantern, the light. Most people went to bed when it got dark, got up when it got light. And a little wood burning stove. And those things would put out some heat. That's a little one there. And a baby chair. And no sink. So you got your vanity mirror here, and you got your bowl right here, and you got your pitcher down here. Fill that up with water, put water in there, wash your face, brush your teeth, all of that stuff, and clean up, and you're ready to go. And you might have flour or something like that, and sugar in these cans, and some canned items up there. Let's see, corn and cucumbers, canned, and peppers, and little wash rack up here. Wash racks made a big difference with washing clothes. Here's one here, washboard. They help more than just any other way that they had back then. Old chair, and that's a small chair. People only about 5'4", 5'3", men were back in the Civil War time. So the beds were much smaller. You look at the beds; they were like 5'3" or something like that. Average people today, 5'6", have a problem getting in those beds. And here's a nice chair. One thing about the culture back then, they were really inventive with their wood carving and techniques and all. They made very beautiful furniture. There's an old picture there. I don't know if that helped or not, but a window with a curtain, water. You had to bring water into the house. No sink, no bathtub. Had to bring water in and wash clothes with it. But this is really cute the way they got it set up. Arnold Jenkins. This is kind of the real beauty of the mountain. You see how people lived 100 years ago. It was so difficult compared to today. They still had their ups and downs and problems a lot more than in one way, and yet there's some peacefulness too that We live in a complicated technological world with a lot more problems. This is a video about them telling various stories of the old days. Wilma Ash hat. Yeah. Playing instrument there. Wilma Ash. What do you call that? Decimeter or something like that? I can't remember the name of that. Dr. Mitchell's instruments from the mid-1900s. Yeah. You put this on your head right here and the light hits it and reflects it, kind of like a flashlight. There's like a reflection so that you could see in a person's mouth and so forth. They didn't have a lot back in those days, but we made do, I guess. Good, I guess if you couldn't deal with life too much stress, you could always get moonshine. That was the early volume of tranquilizer, I guess. Let's see. It says jailbreak in Bryson City. I'll read that later. This is about moonshine. I'll read that later. Okay, this is a weird thing here. I know you're curious about this. It's a seed planter. 1930. I've seen people plow with these mules and so forth before. Man, look at his dress right here. Yep. These have changed. Got a blacksmith. It's a nice anvil there. The man's hammer. Look at the edges of the hammer's already been beaten a million times. Grinding stone and a bellow. Blows air to heat the coal up and increase the heat of the furnace. It looks like 1960s there, Bryson City. Hard work is there. Sewing and making clothes, a wedding ring quilt. Very pretty. They made apron, bonnet, and pot holders. Could make a lost art. Okay, another weird one here. And this was a seed planter. 1897 was the year. People got tired of throwing out seeds, so they made something that would dump them out for them. That back wheel you got here looks like that's cutting your row and seeds are falling down, and then this wheel right here, the way it goes back in, pushes dirt back over it. Now, this is something you don't see every day. A corn sheller. Put your corn in there, crank the handle, and do the corn cob. And a corn chuck doll. I've seen all kinds of things made out of corn chucks like this doll. That's beautifully done. Some people are so gifted. But that's a 1900s corn shucker. That light. You can see it now. Now these instruments are scary right here. Double-bladed axe. That means some serious hard work. Back in those days on a whetstone. And people would turn a handle or pump a pedal that would turn these stones around in a circle and lean close to it so sweat would fall off your nose onto the grinding wheel. It would help to cut the metal, to sharpen it. All of these things have serious work involved with mastering them. Yeah, this is harvesting honey from honeybees. Go back to 1852, but it goes back several thousand years of harvesting honey. Beekeeper's hood. The smoke kind of puts them to sleep so they don't sting you. And create the hive here with box. Some cooking utensils. Some bowls and stuff here. And that's a thick bowl right there. It's like an inch thick all the way around. Some pretty glass. Apple butter, wooden spoon, can opener, ice pick, vintage dinnerware. Now that's nice. A wooden baby shoe stretcher. Who would have guessed? Garlic grinder. Cheese grater. This is probably for the rich and famous. Baking pan. Back in those days. I guess this was like cornbread muffins or something. Plates. Biscuit cutter. That's a small biscuit, huh? Egg beater. A weight. Spatula. Cook. Small baker's pan. And this is what changed the world right here. The ability to can stuff. Canned peppers, canned blackberries, canned dried pepper, cedar, dried apples. You know what, the French came up with the idea of canning. Well, this is the way they made butter. And pretty ingenious, actually, these churns. Sit there and pump that thing, and eventually you'll get butter. Man, talk about a spinning wheel. This is a monster here. This is one of the larger ones I've seen. I made them a lot smaller too. This thing is about 5 foot tall from the bottom to the top, the legs and all. Another lost art. Yeah, this is the cabin that the young lady was talking about. That's up here on the second story. Who would believe you'd have a cabin? It's not that big. I mean, it's big enough. And so look at how the big pieces of wood are cut and sliced in here and notched in there. That's really neatly done too. They don't make things like they used to. I've collected some of these bottles, all kinds like this. Notice the top of them. A lot of these have corks that go in the top of them. That goes clear ones right there. It flares out at the top. You put corks in those. Old glasses. An eye washer. Got a corn cob in that one. Old medicine balls and stuff. Here's some of that basket weaving here, and they put something to make it solid so they can paint it there, and that's really interesting. Sawmill Creek pottery there. More basket weaving. And pew pottery. It's very nice. And some jewelry. Oh, this is pretty. Oregon, Forney Creek Baptist Church, 1900s. Look how well this is made. And I actually got musical notes for that. I don't see any words on it, but pretty wood. Pedals down there on the stool. And an old book. What is it? He's at the Bible.
My tax dollars work. I wash my hands.
Very pretty though.